Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Writer's Block Party Podcast. I'm your host, R.C. Cepeda. We are a podcast about creators being creative. We come up with ideas for a movie, TV show, or product, and we get to invite you along for the journey and the process. In today's episode, we have Ptolemy Slocum, an accomplished improv actor who's also on the show Westworld, How I Met Your Mother, and The Wire. I would love to tell you more, but what the shuck are we waiting for? Roll it! Hi, this is the Writer's Block Party Podcast, a podcast about creators being creative. Today's episode, we're sponsored by Sunday Scaries. All-natural, non-habit-forming remedy for anxiety. CBD gummies, custom formulated with 10 milligrams of CBD, as well as vitamins like B12 and D3, providing a calm sense of anxiety relief. So go to sundayscaries.com, get your bottle 10% off by using the promo code WBP10. WBP10.
Is that real?
10% off.
Can I see it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Is there one in there?
There's two in there. Feel free to.
It's gonna calm your anxiety.
I want to do one.
There
It's
you go.
cute. Oh, no.
It's
What
instant
have
work.
Twice we killed Ptolemy.
Gummies for anxiety. Let's take this chill now.
We have two co-hosts today. Andrew Cudzillo.
Hello.
Ali Naqvi, and our guest is Ptolemy Slocum. Welcome, Ptolemy.
Thank you, everyone.
I
Thanks
know
for
him.
having me.
Thank you for your time.
We're friends.
We know you're busy, so we really appreciate you coming out here. So.
No, I just took some anti-anxiety gummies.
There you go. It
Doing
works
great.
already. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
It's good stuff.
So, Writer's Block Party Podcast. It's about creators being creative.
Okay.
So it's a little roundtable discussion. We are going to come up with either like a movie, a TV show, or a product, or a movie show.
Maybe
A movie
There's a
show.
thing called a movie show.
Yeah, movie show.
It's a
TV
new
movie.
It's a new hit right now. It's a new thing.
Take me to the movie shows.
I will give you some names,
All right.
and then we can kind of like build our own adventure from there.
And these names are like the title of
The
something?
titles
okay.
of it. Yeah.
Or
So
jumping off point.
Well,
Let's get weird.
Guys,
It's-
let's
Ooh.
get creative.
let's
I like
get
it.
Right?
creative.
Is there some kind of like hands-in thing?
Oh,
at the
yeah,
let's
beginning?
do it.
No,
Let's-
oh, I mean, are we doing that?
Yeah,
do it.
1,
Do it.
2,
Do it.
3. Let's get
Let's just
creative.
get
Oh, I didn't know what they were gonna say.
And move the bottle out of the frame. And move bottle out of the frame.
So far, so creative,
End of
guys.
segment. End of anxiety segment. Okay.
Okay, let's
I might
do
need one of
take
these.
five.
Let's hear,
Take
let's hear
five.
these names.
105. There you go.
Here we go.
What are the names? that
All right,
were-
so let's see. Movie or TV show or product? What are you
Okay.
thinking? What are you feeling?
I got to hear the titles first. Do I have to pick the format before hearing the title?
Ooh. No.
Good. Let's do the titles. All
right.
And we'll just
Perfect.
We'll
I
work
like
from
it.
there.
I like it.
All right. On the cusp.
Mm-hmm.
Aw, shucks.
That's funny.
The hills have lies.
The hills have lies.
Oh, little play on words
Wouldn't
there.
they
No
have
surprise.
On the cusp, aw shucks, and the hills have lies.
Yes.
Okay. I'm thinking we attempt to combine all three of these.
This is amazing. Let's.
On the cusp, aw shucks, right? And the hills have lies. So we're
Yes.
dealing that we have a setting here. It's somewhere like we're looking at Appalachia, something that's
I can
like
see that. I'm already seeing it now.
backwoods. The aw shucks, I think, should probably be a play on words for corn. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like they're
Of course.
it's
Like a
some
show, yeah.
kind of like
Gotcha.
yearly. It's a yearly festival.
The corn festival.
It's a corn
Yeah.
festival for harvest up
Okay.
in they're these like backwoods farmers. They also rely on corn for probably their moonshine.
Right.
You know, it's like a big.
Okay.
So we have this like aw shucks
It's
kind
an
of
event in those hills.
right
in those times.
and then on the cusp, right? So we're dealing with like the right turning of age into adulthood, going from a child into an adult of some kind. So we have
They're
kind
on
of
the
a
cusp of like adulthood.
Yeah,
What
on-
if they're on the cusp geologically? They're on the cusp of.
So you want to be a disaster
like
film?
a
yeah,
we're on
yeah.
like a fault line.
It's like San Andreas.
Okay.
It's on
Let's
the
go with
cusp
that.
of
a
I
little
love it,
on the
love
nose, but they're just
They're literally on the cusp,
They're on the
Literally.
and
Okay.
they're
I don't know.
metaphorically
Maybe-
on the
maybe not,
cusp.
maybe
So
not.
they're like on the edge of the world.
Maybe.
Like the world.
Because
Are
they're
these like a
flat
certain
Earth
type of like
people.
village? Like
They're flat Earth people.
it's a certain
They're
okay,
flat
flat
earthers.
Earth people.
That's a flat earther movie.
The
Oh my
FEPs.
god, I love it.
They're FEPs for short. I like
right.
that.
Okay.
No, I don't know. This doesn't have to be.
No, I mean, no, let's do it.
No. So they don't have to be. Maybe they could be on the cusp of an ocean. They could also just be on the
Okay,
cusp.
fine.
Is it on the cusp? One
Not a
person is
natural
on the cusp
disaster.
of.
I just find it interesting if they like live up in the hills and there's this event that happens,
The Shuck
and then the
Fest.
Earth is like
Shuck
gone.
Fest.
Oh, shit.
Like literally, like
just
off,
falls.
feels like all of the rest
Just
of the Earth
drops.
like fell away, and now they're just floating in space. That's kind of strange.
And
That's
do they?
real
Okay,
strange.
let's go back.
Like,
let's
is it
go into
like a
the
dimensional
husking
hole?
part.
Is it like a dimensional plane falls, and so
Well, I
Do they,
thought-
like, they
imagine,
float when they
it
fall
happened
off?
right here. So if like the plane just fell and Andrew was gone forever,
Gone.
we wouldn't even notice. But like
I
it would
would
just be like
notice.
there would just be
Thanks, man.
they
I
would be
would
on the-
notice because it would freak me
I
out.
would- yeah.
Also, he's
You'll
kinda
never
loud.
forget my face.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
He's loud.
I wouldn't miss you, but it would. I just be concerned for myself.
All
No,
I'd
I
be
mean,
doing.
you know.
I mean,
it would
I
just
feel
be-
like there's a fable. There's a fable element. There's like a nugget of a fable in there where
Okay.
these people who live in the backwoods, like
The flat Earth people.
the rest, yeah, they're like flat Earth people, and the rest of the Earth, as far as they are aware, literally like goes away, and then they are the rest. They live in the only place they know of now. There's something like interesting in
There's
there.
something there.
I'm
Yeah.
with that. I'm okay with that.
Now,
It's
can they
more like
see
high
that?
concept than
Yeah,
the
yeah.
nice
Yeah.
like coming of age festival that I was attempting to build.
That's the beauty of the
just
show.
have-
Is
I
it's,
really
it's,
big
it can go
ideas.
anywhere. it can
I'm
go
just
anywhere.
like, let's just have
Right.
the Earth
Now,
fall
what-
apart.
That sounds like a film that we might be able to afford. So let's just
Let's
kick
go
this one
towards
off.
Now,
We can
what
go-
if
we can
what
go-
if you're able to see the people, like
Sky's
the
the limit.
other
Sky's the
Earth
limit.
people?
That could be the name. of
So,
it.
like, say
I
we
mean,
have Andrew,
In
and we're
my
like,
mind,
we see
literally,
them.
like they are flat Earth people, and then when the Earth fall, like you're up on the hills, when the Earth falls off, now you're just looking at space. You're
Okay.
just floating
Like a
in
dark
space,
space or light
around the
space?
sun. Yeah, like a celestial. They now live in outer space because where the edge of the world was is where they live.
Okay.
That's the very edge of all known space and time.
And I wonder if you could see them, like just like you see like your grandma like floating away, and you're like,
She's like,
"Oh,
"Grandma."
shucks."
Ugh.
Like Carrie Fisher bad floating away.
But to be honest, shucks is like the worst word they know. That's
It's-
like
yeah, because they
It's like their F word. Wait, is it like a dirty word?
yeah, it's like a super dirty
Oh,
word.
Like,
so
oh, go shuck yourself, and they're like,
Oh, what? How
and
dare
world
you?
type stuff.
oh man, this is shucked up.
"Whoa, are you shucking with me?"
That's pretty good.
Thanks.
Okay,
That's pretty good.
so we got that on the cusp. Shuckfest. Let's go into this event. Like how?
It
should-
can't be Shuckfest now if it's the dirtiest word in the book.
well, it could be like, what if they have like great
What was the other
oysters?
Just make
thing?
some pornography
They have
now.
great
What if they have like
oysters.
a fuck festival and it's called the Shuck
Guys,
Festival?
in this
You
world,
can't
they
just be
have a
like,
fuck fest.
you can't make flyers that say "fuck festival."
No, you can only
festival.
say
They do. They have a fuck festival,
their
and
own-
it's
they're the only
fucking
people that are
great.
gonna
Fucking
see
great.
it.
It's
Yeah.
shucking
Is
great.
it possible then, the backstory of Shuckfest was that it started as a way to say fuckfest, they used the word Shuckfest, and then people just adopted the word shuck in place of fuck, and now this whole community
Yeah.
just says shuck?
It's a shuck word.
Oh my god, I'm in. I love it. I love it. I want to live here. I want to live in this space.
But now obviously they have to like repopulate the earth, so Shuck
So they're
Festival
So they-
takes on like
Okay.
a new.
Okay, that justifies the shucking.
Yeah.
So it's this like just grand event where they go to like find the other person that they're gonna make relations with.
Right. That
Make
year,
shucking
like,
relations.
Theoretically, we can say now that we've left reality of all kind, we can say in this community, each year you have a new partner, right? You have a new like sexual partner, and that this is how they like
Shuck buddy.
diversify here. And,
shuck
and you
with.
meet them, you're reassigned, or you find someone new at the Shuck Festival, and for the next year, the two of you are a part. You know, you have to couple.
So for
and
one
then-
year, in whatever world we're in, for one shucking year,
for one
they
One
are
cycle.
only shucking each other.
for one flat
shuckle.
cycle
So
around
do you?
the sun.
But let me ask you this: like, when
everything
do you
around
stop
them
shucking? Like, when do you stop taking a shuck buddy?
A Shuck buddy, yeah.
When you stop taking a shuck buddy, and when do you like go? Okay, now I move on with my life. Can you fall
1
in love
year
with
later.
the shuck?
This is
Exactly
why-
a year. I like that.
Is that our story?
Yeah, each festival you have a new. You're assigned a new.
No, but
person
what
for
happens
that
when you're
year.
ready to not? Or is that it?
Oh,
That's
you're
it? Settle
assigned. I like
down?
that you're
Yeah, you're
assigned though,
assigned
so
one-
you
So we
can't
don't
choose.
even have a scenario where somebody gets to go, "Hey, I like shucking you."
No,
Right.
you can't
Well,
fall
this is
in
the
love.
problem.
That's the
That's
story.
This is the
that's
problem
the event.
because there is
and then
also
it's-
emotion,
Somebody finally
but you
falls
also
in
have
love.
the assignment.
They fall
And they're
in
going
love.
against the Association of Shuck.
Oh my
Right.
god! And the shucking is more important than the love because it's not about
So this
love.
is a love
It's
story.
about
This
shucking
is a
and
love story?
repopulating the earth. Well,
This
when
is
do
a-
we have too much?
It's-
If everybody's
No,
doing this,
That's great.
It's like, is it like Atonement, like a deep film?
No, it's like it's all about shucking, but then it's all about love for these people, for this couple.
So it's finally a
So the
couple
Romeo and
that's
Juliet
like
You
story.
have to
Well, not
deal
Romeo and
with
Juliet, but you
your
get that.
emotion inside of a
Whatever.
world where you
They
are.
get to shuck each other. I don't know what the big fucking deal is.
It's kind of like
Shakespeare.
It's kind of like arranged marriages
shuck
that last one year long.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's good.
So,
And
so
then
then, so our
you
story
recycle.
starts as a defiant moment where
Is it
two
in the
people
future?
actually fall in love.
They're trying to go outside of the realm of what like their
Normality.
society, yeah, their normality
Yeah.
of that. And they want to find
The
love.
societal normality.
So do they get tired of shucking? They're like, no, I love you.
I don't think
You get tired of shuck? No.
No.
I think what we have is
I don't think that happens ourselves.
two people that are coming.
I'm just weird.
That are coming of age, and they're being assigned their first like whatever assignment that is part of this cycle.
Okay.
But since childhood, they have been enamored with each other, and so now that they're assigned to someone else,
And they've
they
never been
don't-
assigned to
They
each
don't.
other, yeah.
No, they've been never been assigned to anyone, but they hope and they would be assigned to themselves. And then you have this scene that comes down to them like either opening the envelope or opening the ear of corn in which.
So it's almost like Hunger Games.
Yeah, you have to like peel back your corn, and then in the kernels it says like who.
So wait, so somebody went as far as to go through the cornfield, pull corn cobs out, and go, all right, I'm gonna
I think
make
the
sure.
corn. I think
is
the
it
corn
the
has like.
presentation important?
Yeah.
I think the corn has
No,
colors,
totally.
and then each person
It's
that grows
just like
corn
the-
has their own color.
the
Like
And then they find it and they're like, oh,
you know
this
which
is
family
weird. I
it is.
got
when you
this.
open it, you know which family.
Wait,
it is.
So you're
here's where
unwrapping,
we have
like,
a
the
problem with
presence
families,
of
though.
that.
But here's the problem we have with families. So let me take a little sidebar here. How long has the Shuck Fest been going on? How many years have we been
Well,
shucking?
okay,
It
how
should
is this
go
in
on
the
long
future?
as we've
Is this
known.
an alternate
Okay,
future?
so this is-
alternate.
It's
Oh,
a
is
it
fable.
now?
It's a
so,
fable.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Ooh, I
So
like
it's like-
that.
So it's
So
It's a
everybody,
story
so it's
on the
incestual.
fable.
Basically,
Now-
your Shuck buddy is probably the offspring of literally like some other people
What?
shucking,
Yeah.
I think you got
which
something.
could be related to you. So everyone's genealogy is
And the,
obviously stemming
the
from two
children
people.
continue to move on
Okay.
with the female shuckster.
But if everyone's moving on, how do you establish family?
That the family is the female takes the children, and then each year is a new male. And the idea is that you continue to genetically produce.
So the man
What
always
age-
changed.
what age-
The village, it's
So
more
this
of
was
a village.
clearly invented by a man.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff is.
Yeah.
Well, no,
okay.
but
Most
then,
of this
but
is-
then no, but that's good though because then you're preventing incest
Great.
too.
There's got to be a way to do
Right,
that.
and you're
Because down
you're
the line,
spreading
you're
genetic,
spreading
yeah.
genetic mutations.
Okay. Oh,
At-
And you're not inbreeding
At
as
what
much
age
because you're going
is
forward with
are
the
these
genealogy.
is just shucking?
That's
At
good.
what age is like are they a
Can we
part of
set
the
an
ceremony?
appropriate age? Can we not make it a creepy age like 15? Maybe you don't shuck until you're like 20. You start your shucking years.
Yeah, I mean, when would you get
I mean,
married?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe
Like
you don't
20.
get married.
Well,
Maybe
this
you
is
just
like a form of marriage.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I
Shucking
mean? Like
is so your marriage
For a
is
year.
literally-
You're
it's
married for a year.
It's like
when you come
Oh.
of age,
Interesting.
you join the community,
Okay,
which
I'm with
is
you.
the community is a rotating mass of families.
I love how we're like authoritative on something we just invented. No,
I
no,
mean,
you
the
don't
idea-
understand.
at the
I know.
core
I
of
love
this-
it. I love it. I'm just saying. I love how quickly we were like, no, you're missing the point. We have
Well,
rules.
the core,
we just established.
the metaphorical core at the base of this is you are born into a culture you didn't design. You did. You did not. You grew up and now you have these like patterns
Okay.
that you behave under, and you're sick of them. And the whole purpose of youth is to break patterns that are bullshit,
All right, I like
anyways, right?
So this really
There's
is an
that deeper
alternate
meaning,
world.
yeah.
And this is an alternate world.
and,
Cool,
and where,
totally
and
alternate
where
world, okay.
the people that think the world is round are the minority.
Yeah,
And
and
they're,
it was.
they're
This
thought
is-
about,
yes.
they think they're the fucking weirdos. They were like, no, it was never round. It's always been this way.
But the arc has to be these two people who decide that love is more important than some whatever cultural
Yeah.
norm. That was
So growing
decided.
up, they'd sneak into like little sectors of the village, and they'd be like, "Hey, yeah, this is shucked up, right? Yeah, but I love you. My
Man,
love
I
is
would
with you."
Shuck the shit out of you.
Man, I'd shuck you today if I could.
It's like Smurf. It's like Smurfs. That's what it is.
It's a way of
It's like
smurfing.
Oh my god, we just wrote.
All right, so we got the arc. we have the arc.
What if they're all blue?
And white
man.
pants.
Because it's
And there's only one girl.
What if there's like they all?
That's unshucking belief.
All right, so the flat Earth people. So what time frame are we like? Are we thinking?
I mean, it's
This
an alternate
future,
universe
so it's
set
totally
in a
alternate.
theoretical like nowish / maybe even back in like 1970s or what have you.
Oh, so the
You know, like-
70s.
Well, something that's like a little more traditional has because you want to get the sense of a world that is based on traditions. So it's basically now-ish, but
Okay.
a kind of a
So you
almost a
wanna still go with the-
Quakery. I'm
Oh.
thinking like a
Quaker.
Quakery feel.
Yeah, but is that going to get too Handmaid's Tale if we go too Quakery? What if we try something different?
First of all, there is no Handmaid's Tale in this world.
Well,
They
I
wouldn't know. They wouldn't even know what Handmaid's Tale.
I know they don't have Hulu, and they're not like.
Yeah, there's no Hulu in this.
I get that.
Flat Earth. It's a flat Earth.
That is
Wait,
true.
is there a TV in this flat Earth?
No.
How do you
They
watch
don't even
TV in a
have-
flat
I think it
Earth?
needs to be
It's a
like
dystopian-
I think it needs to be like old
It's a
school.
dystopian
Okay.
kind of
Yeah.
alternate
Are you-
Wait for
universe.
dystopia has actually got a
Do you
cool
want
ring to it.
that to eliminate the technology factor from the whole thing?
I think so.
Okay.
I think you
That's
want
why-
to.
That's
That's
why
what
they
you mean
shuck so
Quakery.
much because there's nothing
Yeah.
else
You
to
mean
do.
There's
more-
nothing
yeah.
else to do
So
but
they
shuck.
shuck and shuck and shuck.
What else do they do for fun though? What's their other alternative? They
Like,
can't just be shuck.
they
That'd
have,
be
like,
ridiculous.
There's got to be some kind
Corn,
of
so
sport.
they have
Who
a
does
full
that?
load of corn that they can work with, right? So they probably
Right.
play games with corn, like, all right, and they take a bite and like, ooh, who's
my
gonna
God.
bite the seed now, and whose teeth? I don't know.
What do they actually? Wow! You just invented the weirdest game ever.
Wow, that's like a mating game right there.
From Texas?
It's got to be like a
Played that
sport.
game before.
Well, they have
that in high
cornhole,
school.
right? Am I
Cornhole.
right?
There
Yeah,
you go.
Cornhole.
So let's table this. Let's move to a little break.
Yeah.
Go.
So we can get our minds energized.
I was just processing
Breaking
what
out.
the sport is.
Break.
It's a writer's break.
block. So this is the
It's not a
block in the
quitting
writer's
break.
block.
You got to stick around.
You have to
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
not like a
Well, it's
lead
great
break.
seeing everybody. I feel like I pulled my weight around here. I feel like
You've done your
I've delivered on what I promised
You're
when
doing
I
great.
showed
You're doing
up.
great.
Okay.
Just a little friendly Q&A. How's that
Okay.
sound? Yeah. Big on improvisation. I love
Yeah.
that. We saw a few videos.
I
Love
I
your
grew up
style.
in
What
a
happened? Tell
corn
us about it.
culture of
A cornucopia.
cornucopia. Yeah, I've been probably doing improv for 20 years.
Nice.
20 years.
How old are you?
I'm
25, right?
Yeah,
I'm
Really?
26 years old.
you're
I
6
started
years
when I
old
was
when you
6 years
started.
old.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. You look great.
Yeah.
Did you moisturize?
Before there was this century, I was doing improv, and that's weird.
Where were you doing improv at?
In college, I went to college in GW, George Washington University
Yeah.
in DC.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you do any training out here?
After college, I went to New York.
Yeah.
I was at the original UCB Theater for
Oh, okay.
a while,
That's awesome.
and then I left there and I was teaching at the People's Improv Theater in New York for a while. I came out here, opened an improv theater with Nerdist
Awesome.
for
That's great.
about 4 years, and now it is the Ruby, which is a kind of female inclusive theater, kind of the first of its
Awesome.
kind, and that is in Hollywood.
That's
so I'm
great.
just kind of helping them, but I love that. I love the concept.
And it's like traditional theater, or is it?
It's mostly improv sketch writing.
Awesome.
I mean,
Love that.
these days it's a lot about writing
Of
and
course.
producing and just being a capable, creative individual.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah, that's great.
And
So-
more so than a lot of other stuff, even back when it was just improv, a lot of it is being a place where if you have a passion for something, you meet like-minded people.
Yeah.
And you meet people who are all in the process of learning themselves
Yeah.
and learning a thing. And in that you basically create a clan. And that is the whole purpose I've found of these schools, is to get people together to work on something as a unit, as opposed to like kind of drift.
No, and that's
on
how
your
like
own.
all the people like that are successful in comedy right now are like they started in little groups, and
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
groups
Yeah.
made it. Those groups are the ones that like stuck together, stayed, they lived together, they helped each other out, they helped each other get jobs, and then they're still out there working together. They
Yeah.
still go on each other's shows and do like little cameo spots. It's awesome, and it's like that's the way.
So it becomes a little family.
And it can be hard because being creative is it's a process, and it can often be a lonely process, but it needs people. And
Yeah.
by the time you have established, even in your own life, that you are going to be a creative, oftentimes you're past the college phase or the high school phase, and it's very important to be exposed to other people. And then when you're exposed to them, you just get aesthetics. Like these people like the same thing I like, and you just kind of gravitate toward them.
Yeah.
And I think I think it's a great system.
I love it. I think that's
And there's such a rush to that,
Perfectly
though.
said.
Like, when you're on that creative mode, right? I've never done like sketch comedy like live or anything like that, but I did do stand up like twice, and just having that rush of like, where it's all eyes on you, and you have that, that power to be like, well, it's especially with improv, any little thing that you do will go to that story and contribute,
Yep.
and you build off of that.
Right.
I find big love on that. Big.
Yeah, and that's process. But even in your process, what you're talking about is taking risk, right? So
Yeah.
you put yourself in a position of risk going on stage. And when you do that, you cannot help but associate to those other people that are there. And even in stand-up, you're on stage by yourself, but those other people that went before you, that went after you, they have the same story. Like, we're trying, we're going into this point of danger, and we need support or help, or we're all going through this together. And you associate to those people, and you basically like make friends out of it, and that makes your life like that. Those people become part of your life, and I think that kind of, in terms of creativity, that kind of shit is. It's not necessarily priceless, but it is what keeps us going.
Yeah.
Like even this like
fresh.
Westworld thing. Westworld's really a hard show. The people that are in that show, the actors and people that aren't even like in the acting department, but those people become family because we're all going through the same thing. And when they hire these people that have very similar concepts of like the association to the rest of the world, and so these people over the course of these 4 years or whatever. Wow. But some of these people are very close to me now. And it's outside of the show. It's because we've gone through something together.
You went through the shit together,
right.
yeah.
And that's the nature of creativity. Is creativity often feels very isolating because it is your language and it is your interpretation of the outside world, and you must rely on yourself. But at the same time, it's very important to continually create a community with yourself and other people, because that's what gives you the strength to like keep moving forward.
And new ideas. And
and it inspires you and
other voices.
Just
rather than
knowing
just
that
your
you
own
can
voice.
mention this idea and not be like looked at weird.
It's a safe space.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Hey, I'm not the only weirdo that think that's funny. That's
it makes
awesome.
the world seem possible.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Or like at least something's in control. I can make this room laugh.
Yeah.
Or this one person. When we would make like our little dumb videos, it'd be like, oh, I made one person laugh, and they posted like a comment that said "lol," and it'd be like, that's
it.
That's
Done.
A win.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like that was the goal.
I think
Make
it's
one
sad because
person
for
laugh,
me,
and then-
like,
okay.
I will say, and you know this, I will say something stupid and silly just as long as I laugh, I'm okay with it. Like, if it makes me laugh, then
Something
I'm
I have
okay.
to
Or if
tell
it
you.
makes somebody make this face.
You're not
and,
funny.
like,
This is an intervention we put together. For you.
Honestly, we all
Right.
came here with a reason. RC's mother.
Grandma?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, man.
That's great. That's amazing. Are you doing any improv now? Like,
I still do things at all of these theaters. I still do a show sometimes monthly or bi-monthly at UCB. I still do shows monthly at the Ruby Theater. So that's pretty much for the live performance stuff that I'm doing. Yeah.
What else are you like? I guess for our listeners, you currently are on Westworld. We didn't mention that. We probably should.
Yeah, it's a TV show.
It's a TV show you may have
I think I've heard of it.
That's a big ticket item.
That's me and Ali's TV show.
Yes.
we made it.
Ali
we
was
made
also
it.
a part of that. But whatever. You, on the other hand, no. You mentioned how intense it is to work on. Just in general, like, is it because? And I don't know. We ask him to tell us nothing while he's doing it. I don't like to know things. But as far as format goes for you as an actor, do you find that? Because I'm assuming you're shooting it out of order, or whatnot. Is it difficult to figure it out, or do you guys just wait to watch it after it's done, just so you could see what actually went on?
Oh
during a
yeah,
lot
I
of
mean,
it?
it's definitely challenging on many levels.
Yeah.
One of them is, I don't know what the fuck is happening.
What the shuck is happening?
And my favorite part of the journey is just watching it. At the end, it was like, oh man,
Yeah.
I'll go, even after reading the scripts, it is shocking to see.
That's great.
I have no idea, and that's actually a thrill. But physically, it's a very physically intricate, demanding type of show, which is.
Satisfying.
It is so.
No, it's seriously.
It's
seriously
totally thrilling.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
such
it
a
really
good,
makes you
cool
feel like
feeling.
acting is
Yeah.
often so intangible and non corporal, and Westworld is so overwhelmingly involved that it takes all of you to do it.
Yeah.
And it's just a thrill.
That's
it's
awesome.
like what you wish you were doing when you were a child.
I love
you
it.
know?
amazing.
You
Watching it
dreamed of
feels
being
like that.
on in working in movies.
Yeah.
And, like being in the muck. That was.
Well,
that's
It
definitely
seems
what we do.
it's as fun to watch. I feel like that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
great.
talk to anybody of any department, and they basically are working to their max, to their very max, and
Yeah.
that's what the show requires. And it is both, exhausting and entirely exhilarating.
that's amazing.
Amazing. Speaking of amazing, let's get back into this flat Earth people.
flat.
Oh, now we're
Earth.
going back. Now, I see. That was just a segue.
Yeah, he
All
was
right.
segueing us out.
We
of that.
sandwich the conversation so people maybe don't skip it at the beginning. They're just like, we don't want to hear about
Huh?
it.
So it just happened then.
Yeah.
So we basically fucked you.
Yeah,
We fucked you
have
with.
to-
We fucked you with conversation.
We shucked everybody.
We shucked you with
them
conversation.
all. We got the character, or we got the arc.
Okay.
Quaker dystopia. Got some backstory.
So by the end of this, do we want a Bible, or how much of
How much time do you have?
how much do we want to like
How much
build
time
out?
do you have?
Or do we
could
need
do-
like, is this a
This
TV
could
show
be
or
part
film?
one. This could be part one.
It can be.
72-part series.
No, I mean,
It feels
this
more
could
like
be a film.
It seems more like
Yeah.
a single standalone
Yes.
film,
Yeah.
right?
It feels
so.
doesn't
Are
feel
we
like a
now?
TV show.
Are we going to break it into acts, or what are we doing?
I feel that we can just, the main parts. So we have that arc, why they're, going to the event, why there's the event part of it. Then we can kind of figure out the crux, the
Right.
Who do you want to
the
play
end.
parts in
Or
this?
the- and the
What
casting.
kind
We'll
of
get to that
characters do you
later.
have? Yeah.
Oh, we're going to cast it.
We'll
and-
cast it.
and-
We'll
okay,
cast it.
great.
We're
That'll be the
gonna-
last portion.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna mark
definitely
it.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Hell yeah.
Like Dreamcast.
Go for it.
Sure.
This is the time to do a drink.
Sure.
It's gotta be on
Jeff
the first
Bridges.
And
I don't know why Jeff Bridges.
Maybe
Jeff Bridges,
like-
I love Jeff Bridges.
Well, he's great. He's
'Cause
consistent.
come on.
What if we went back in time and cast Moses? Like, we found Moses.
Moses.
Just straight from the mountain Moses. He's never seen a movie, but he'd be very
Just
he'd be very
real.
real.
pull him right into the camera and be like, go.
Hey man, you know laws. Like I need you to just be you. Just be you. What is happening? No, we're just from the future. Don't worry about it. I said don't worry about it. You're a shucker and you do
She got some corn, and you're
I'm
gonna
sorry,
rip it open.
I just got finished talking to God. What is happening right now?
Is this really important right now?
It's part of the Red Sea.
Wow.
And boy, are my arms tired.
So we got Moses. All right,
And
Moses is part of the
rolling.
cast.
So wait,
We're
so
2 steps ahead. Let's talk about the movie. Who is he playing?
Okay. Major arc.
Let's create characters.
Is he one of the dads that's like,
We have to-
no, there's still people. This is not Romeo and Juliet.
it's not Romeo and Juliet.
Well, this is what we got to figure out. We got to
It's
figure
not
out.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah,
We
I
have
think that
the
would be a
event.
little too easy.
That
I
would be too
think,
simple.
for that structure.
No. I'm saying like it has. Oh my god. What?
What if it falls and there's
Oh,
2 spaces
God.
and the space is what's keeping them apart? So there's
Did you
a
just
So
Dave
it's a-
Matthews
I think the world shit is like
move past the actual.
we
physical-
gotta. All right, from now at this point forward, we have to decide if it's gonna be like a high concept thing in which like land is important.
We have
it
a full
falls
budget.
away,
We have
and
like
there's a space.
we have a full
All right, you
budget.
have
We're fine.
unlimited
We can get
we
it
can
taken
drop
care of.
all.
Or do we tell a simple story of 2 people trying to fall in love in a culture that they don't agree with?
Because
Because
they're on the
one
cusp
thing
of adulthood.
you
Okay,
should
let's drop
when
the-
you state these, you should just tell me what the genre is first.
That's the
Before-
beauty of it. We create the genre. It's
Well,
whatever we want.
obviously not. It has to be some
Clearly.
type of geological sci-fi tragedy.
God damn it!
Let's
Ollie.
take it back. Take it back. What do you
Alright.
guys want to go from?
Let's just
Okay,
do it.
so there's
What's
no
wrong with a
dropping
simple
off the world.
meteorite striking the Earth?
We're not making this movie.
It's probably never going to be made at this
Okay.
rate.
Lewis is not.
I know that. I know that
Moses is not
thing was a
coming
joke.
back.
But here's the
bring
deal.
Moses.
Like,
There's
is this
no time
going to be in a
machine.
world that we can grasp, or do we want to fucking go? What's a budget?
I say
What's your
go.
ideal budget? Because I can
Well-
we can spend it wherever you want.
Well, there's a $1 million version of this movie that would play on
Little
like,
word starts with a D and
by, like-
ends with an Inosaurus.
No, it's
This world is covered with dinosaurs.
source. No, it's
The sad
somebody
thing
They
is it
don't
would
attack
sell.
anyone or do anything. They're just very expensive to shoot.
They grow the corn.
They take up a great deal of budget.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they're just tell your simple story, just surrounded by dinosaurs.
in
I'd
love,
watch that.
they're in love. Okay, no.
So the
Okay,
dinosaurs
take
are
it
the
back.
flat Earth
They're on the
people.
cusp of adulthood. Let's just take it from there. No Earth dropping.
I love the
Let's take it
ceremony.
back.
I love the ceremony
I went
aspect
too
of
big.
it. You went a little too far.
Did you? I mean, don't.
No. But the
No, but you're.
and then
Oh,
there's like
what
5
about?
people stuck over
What
there
about on the cusp?
because they'll never figure out a way.
I don't even remember. What was the third thing that we had said?
On the cusp.
The hills have lies.
Oh, the hills have
lies. There were no
lies.
hills.
Well,
where we
there's
were going.
hills in this world.
Okay,
We can
alright.
make the hills in this world.
There's clearly hills in
And
their
what
eyes.
if? So these kids, what if they've been lied to this whole time? So that's what it is. What if these people don't have those constructs, and these two kids have just been lied to because they don't want, like, someone doesn't want these two kids to get married.
Just these two
Just
kids?
these two in
Just
particular.
Seems really
So they
specific.
rig the
Because
system
they don't want
for this
They don't want
Shuckfest.
people to be ultimately, and this has
So
been.
they did a profile, like a personality test on all these people before
When they're
they
young,
shuck them
when
together.
I
they're
mean, you don't
kids.
even need to do that. Like most of our cultural stuff is like fear of individuality. Like that, individuals are very dangerous to a system.
Yeah.
And systems tend to punish and or rid cultures of individuality because individuality gone amok is too dangerous and hard to control.
Gonna shuck.
Gone a shuck. And so now, so there are people that conspired to make sure that these two didn't get their dream, because if you have your dream, that's too dangerous for everyone else.
See, this is deep.
And
That's
this is
deep.
why love is discouraged. Like we must have a scenario where you do you follow what you are told to do versus you follow your own instincts or your own heart.
So people walk out of the movie like, damn, and they're gonna call like their
Damn, I want
Childhood.
some corn right now.
Yeah. I'm going to go over and
Damn, do I
shut
want
the
to
hell
eat
out
some
of
corn
something.
right now? I think we are responsible in this time together, the four of us, with making people feel a little more in love by the end of this particular podcast.
Well, because you have to love
Yeah, I
each
can
other.
do
You have to love each other.
That's the moral.
And so if we
story,
get anything done in
is
this,
that they have to break the norm of this society that makes them have to not.
and really,
recycle
isn't
their
that
love.
our society? Isn't it our society?
I think our society needs more love,
More love.
a lot more of it. This is almost accurate to a society we're headed to.
This is actually
And
true.
I don't want to put too much on it, but I think
love
our
it.
society could also use an Earth that rips off from itself, and then there's just like empty space. Am I right? That's another thing that we need.
And then you play
Then
Space
we
Between.
just need to be able to see that.
This is great.
Soundtrack by Ollie Naqvi.
We don't like it. So we're going in different directions.
What if it's called the Corn Rift? And
That's a good title.
Corn
Write that
Rift.
down. Corn Rift. Yeah, we can use that another day. Although we'll be stuck in a
Shucking.
shucking field again.
we open. It's an idyllic small town. These two people. There's some excitement. There's a festival coming up. We get some understanding of what it is. Eventually, there's like warnings about like, oh, you shouldn't have your hopes up. And then these two people, then they see each other, and we get a flashback to like when they were children, and they like liked each other even then.
Moving fast.
Well, I'm doing the outline.
No, I love this. This is great.
Right, and then there's like kind of an antagonist, which is another boy, and he was always
the other boy.
And there was like there's some like
gotta
they
be
were
another one.
they were meant to be.
yeah, and this rival is paired
Intended
with
for
her.
Yeah.
That's the guy who's supposed to be with her
Yeah,
versus
right.
the guy she
And then they
wants
have to
be
like run away, and when they run away, it's
This feels like a Bollywood movie.
their decision to go
Yeah, it
against their
kinda
culture
does.
causes the world to break apart.
It literally
How's that?
breaks
shatters,
the
shatters the world.
because of love.
with. Love shatters the earth. That's your message.
No,
And
because
so
they
the
are
twist is
meant to
that's the
not
end of it.
love.
The twist is where it breaks off. And the introduction, we don't show that. We don't show the earth broken. Then they fall in love. Then like
totally great.
Fall.
Earth
they fall
shattering
in
love.
Yes.
That's your moral. Earth shattering love.
I'm getting
Literal-
a sense that you're not buying into this.
Literal earth shattering love.
Yeah.
God damn it. You're better with the
There's
space
something with
between.
The Earth.
And so they're paired. The pairing is incorrect, and then they have to like decide whether they're going to go against their culture and fight for each other, or kind of assume
break
the
the
system as it has. Obviously, because we're Americans, we have this ideal of things that we are not. But the moral is they choose the path less taken. They fight for each other. I don't know how it ends. Maybe they're burned.
Whoa. Hold
Twist.
That's dark.
Twist.
That's the dark. Yeah, that's the dark.
on. So they
That's
fall
the
in love
dark.
and then
What
we
was the
fucking burn
genre?
them.
Yeah, the genre. It was dark. It's a new take on Wicker Man.
Wow. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
We just wrote Wicker Man. Damn
Just
it.
rewrote Wicker Man.
Son of a bitch.
The bees. The bees.
On the other hand, who wants to go inside and watch Wicker Man?
I'm happy
So
with that.
I feel like we have a pretty good. I think we can send one of us away to break that one out, right?
Well, the other
Well, the other three we got to get a new one. What's our next What's our next project?
We gotta cast
We
it.
need 3 new titles. We've got to do the sequel. It's early. It's fucking.
Yeah,
we got time. How much time are we doing on this? Okay. Well, I don't know.
Let's talk casting. Let's go
Anything?
back to
Let's talk
casting.
casting. Let's talk casting.
Let's establish our
Well, yeah,
characters.
who
Who,
are
we have
the-
who are our characters? Let's go
Besides
with
that,
that.
We need the parents.
Yeah, do we need a couple?
We need a
We need
family.
the other boy.
Wait, who are the parents of these kids, or the 2 main people?
I think it's the evil people. I'll just use that word. The evil flat Earth people who don't want them to get together. So they rigged the system from the beginning.
Almost everyone.
The government.
Right. That's like.
So, but we need to have a character
Government.
Right.
for that. Like the man, the suit.
Is it like a man that's in charge of like a decency
Right, there should be
committee
like
or
a
something?
Yeah.
there should be like
The
a
main guy.
decency. That's a good one. See, that's a good idea. These are good ideas.
man.
These are contributing without
We
removing.
came back a little bit.
We're already deep in this hole,
yes.
so we have to kind of commit
And
to
then we
A
need
literal hole.
Big cornhole.
So we need like an old, pasty, dusty white man actor.
I think Daniel Day-Lewis would play a badass bad guy version of that.
like a committee.
Who?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, Daniel Day-Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah,
Call them
that's in his
Danny,
character
'cause
arc.
they're buddies.
We're best friends.
Yeah, DDL.
I see Daniel Day-Lewis as like a hermit that lives like out in the forest that they go and consult, and he lived his life like separate from them and gives them advice.
Let
like
me
a
get this
sage.
straight. You're giving Daniel Day-Lewis a
Because
bit
he-
part in
yeah,
this movie.
That's right.
Hey, can I say
A
something?
He
guest
already gave up
star.
acting. He will not do anything
He
else.
retired.
We're gonna film it at his actual cobbler's
Yes,
shop.
yeah, that's
wherever
right.
the F he is. Like, dude, don't move.
No.
Well, we're gonna bring the
Just
cameras.
say whatever
just
you
wear
say
this wig
normally.
and
You
this-
don't
and
have
this
to
cape.
do
We're just gonna be
anything.
Yeah.
And then what we get
And
is what we get.
scenes.
That's the scene.
And honestly,
That
that
will probably
will
be the
Soft
best
sticks.
that will be the best performance in
year.
the film. Yes.
of the year.
That's
at
right.
least.
All right.
And he wins another fucking award.
And he
Another,
will. And he'd
another-
win Best Actor, not best supporting actor. He'd actually win Best Actor that year. It'd be like, it'd be him and Meryl Streep
All right,
one
so
more
we
time.
have
hopefully.
the cobbler.
We can only hope.
Use that. The coin cobbler. There you go. That's his name. That's
He's a
Just
corn
put as
cobbler.
himself.
As
Just
himself.
put
As
as
himself.
himself.
As
He like
DDL.
lives also in this world.
He's never died. He's
there's
Daniel
no other
Day-Lewis
actor.
is the
happens to
constant.
live in both realities.
So in
It's
all
like Joe
realities,
Malkovich.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Why is Joe Malkovich the character?
Malkovich would be great for this too, as
Yeah,
like more
As
of
the government guy?
committee,
Yeah.
Committee guy? All
He's
right.
the head. He's like the mayor.
He's the one that can
There should just
like,
be a bad
be like
mayor.
the overacting guy, because there's always like that like kind of overacting guy.
Is that one of the
Oh, is that
roles?
the technical term?
It's like overacting. Yeah.
Overacting guy.
He's like the kind of like he's not the main. He's laughing a lot.
We got
He's got
this
a crazy.
guy.
Why are there so many dinosaurs? They never attack. They're literally not needed.
And scene. Yeah, that was great.
Ah.
That was so good.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm a little tuckered out, so
Yeah, it's exhausting to watch you act.
yeah.
We got Malkovich. We got Daniel Day-Lewis.
Malkovich. Who cast this? Did we take part in this?
We need the guy and the girl.
Okay, so wait.
old are
So
these people?
Leading.
what age? You
I
say
would
20s?
say 20. Yeah.
Early 20s? Yeah.
20s.
20
Romeo and
even, I
Juliet
would
age.
say.
20 even? Okay. Who is a young upcoming actor and actress? Maybe somebody's got a big Instagram following, I assume is what we're looking for here.
Like a Selena Gomez.
Fucking
We
kill
can't
me.
do Selena Gomez. We've used Selena Gomez too many times. FYI.
Can I just say
you love Selena Gomez.
that the lessons of this film,
Yeah.
which are about a culture that has gone astray and is making decisions for us in a way
Should
we would
be
never
told.
make for ourselves, is exactly how you're casting this film.
Yeah.
Like using Instagram. You don't like Instagram.
I hate it.
You would never love Instagram.
hate it.
You have to be
I don't
like
want
the
them to
characters.
be Instagram.
Be the
I
main
want-
characters.
I don't
be
want-
Daniel Day-Lewis.
I don't like
Fight
that this is the
against
world we
Instagram.
live in.
Fight against Instagram.
I hate even
But
the fact that I said
live
it.
in it, so I have to
Yeah,
go with
you don't
it.
have to.
You are. You of all people need to watch this film. You'll see it. The dinosaurs are photorealistic. They are photorealistic. They're literally that you can engage. You feel like you smell them.
I want to be on the set of this film.
Yeah.
The set
And
sounds
they
like
have
an
no
atrocity.
purpose. They have no purpose. They add nothing, but they are photorealistic.
So no Selena Gomez.
Yeah, no Selena Gomez. That's all I was getting at.
You know who's really good? Oh, I think she's like 17 or whatever. But she She's in Sharp Objects. She was in It.
Oh, the little girl in that Sharp
The
Objects.
redheaded
The
girl.
redheaded girl.
So damn good.
Yeah.
She might be too young.
She is under 20 now.
But
She's
even
like
then,
16,
but she
17.
looks like
By
a
the time we get
teenager.
all these people
Yeah, it's
on
gonna
board
be-
with this movie,
Oh
right,
yeah.
and
So in
everything.
20 years,
Yeah,
when this
no,
movie
it's
is
perfect.
made,
Yeah.
she'll be the right age.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we need.
Building the set of the Earth falling off is going to take some time.
It's-
So-
It's practical. We won't
I
get as
actually
much
want
We're
to
gonna
be
use- we're gonna use
able
actual
to
Earth.
actually
Yeah.
fall. Can
We
we
might
make
have
this
to wait
real?
a couple of years.
A guy.
Finn.
The guy from
Stranger
Stranger
Things?
Things?
Yeah. All right.
kids?
Just take a Stranger Things kid. Just write down Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Just male, female. Just
Any-
pluck one of them.
any
They'll
one
be
of
fine.
them. Shuck one of those.
They're alive.
Wait, so David Harbour is going to play the guy?
Yes!
First
Oh my
of all,
God! Let's
right.
get David Harbour.
David Harbour should be in
He's
this movie. Just
badass.
put David Harbour anywhere. He'd be great. And then Meryl Streep, because she'll be
We
Daniel
want
Day-Lewis's
awards.
cobbler
It's definitely
wife.
an award movie.
She'll be the lady next
Also,
door to the cobbler.
write down
We'll be like,
Moses.
Oh, hey.
Moses.
Don't forget Moses.
Moses.
Can't forget Moses.
Dreamcast.
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 Wasn't there a system called the Dreamcast?
Yeah.
I think I had a Dreamcast.
And that is our segment break.
That's our set. That's our movie.
That was a great film.
That was it.
Did we figure out it's going to be called On the Cusp? Aw, shucks. The hills have lies. We got to come up with a corn shuck hill. Corn shuck
Shuck
lies.
Hill.
Wow.
Corn shuck lies.
You're leaving it at Corn Chuck Hill?
Corn Shuck Hill. Don't put Shuck. Well, Shuck
Why
is in
just
the
call
title.
it the cusp? We'll call it the cusp.
call the cusp.
Just call it the
Well,
cusp.
We've kept it really grounded.
I've attempted to keep it grounded just so it functions as an idea. But clearly, you guys want some kind of confetti monster of an idea.
No, I do not need a confetti
All
monster.
right.
This guy wants a goddamn earth to fall.
Well,
man.
I didn't know. I didn't know we were supposed to.
Are you shucking kidding me?
We don't need it to
Cornfetti
happen.
monster.
Confetti monster.
On the cusp, actually, I think that's it. That's it.
On the cusp, walking with dinosaurs.
In 3D.
3D.
I'm sad. I'm so spent. I've laughed my ass off. Thank you for watching and or listening. Writers Block Party Podcast. You can find more episodes and more information at Writers Block Party PRTY, Writers Block Party PRTY, or on our Facebook page, Writers Block Party Podcast, spelled the same way. We created On the Cusp with Ptolemy Slocum. Thank you so much for your time.
Walking with dinosaurs.
In 5D. Thank you so much.
5D is your body actually this separates itself into a tesseract. I wish it was just 4D.
Let's clap for ourselves.
Yeah, hey, pat on my back,
We did
pat on your back.
We did it.
Hey, if you like our theme song, check out Tim DeVille at timdeville.com. That's TIMDEVIL.com. Also, be sure to check out his podcast over at Pretend Record Club, a podcast where he and Sean Harris of The Matches produce a song and break down the process for you. Head on over to pretendrecordclub.com. It's pretendrecordclub.com.